Let's just thank the Toe Tag Monologues one last time for that performance. My name's Joe Morgan. I'm an assistant professor of special education and the coordinator of special education programs. And I'm not sure how I got picked to go. Emotional Wreck Joe is the one that goes after that. But I want to thank the youth and the Toe Tag Monologues nonprofit for putting a real-life voice to some of the most critical problems that youth face in public schools today. These scenarios touch on real-life issues that our students face daily, and as we, educational, political, business, organizational leaders, teachers, and educators attempt to make decisions and shape education for our students, these are important factors to keep in mind. We understand that these are heavy performances, and we wanted to do them just before lunch to give you some time to debrief and discuss with your colleagues about the implications of the things that you saw today from these youth. What we know from research, both nationally and locally, that these social, emotional, and well-being factors are just as important and essential for students' academic outcomes as any of the stuff that we do in classrooms. And so it's important that as we engage in networking and discussion over lunch and throughout the rest of the day, that we find ways to make sure that we are protecting kids and growing these social, emotional factors to increase their outcomes. So thank you, Toe Tag Monologues, for putting a face to real issues that face public school students. I now want to invite Dean Metcalf up, who will release you to lunch after a few announcements.
Release you to lunch? It's the teacher in me. I began my career as a high school band and orchestra director, and I always begged to have my high school band period just before lunch because the threat of holding kids into the lunch hour always gave me power that I really appreciated. So I promise that was kind of a joke. There are a couple of things I want to make sure I say. First of all, Joe, thanks for doing that. I know that really was pretty heavy for before lunch, but for those of you, how many of you have seen the Toe Tag Monologues before? Yeah, this is the third time I've seen them. Every time I see them, I sit with tears in my eyes and I always think, okay, I know what's coming. I know what's coming, I'm going to be okay. But very moving. Thank you so much, Brian. There are a few folks who, in an event like this, that often get overlooked and that I forgot to mention this morning. I want to make sure I do that. We have 3 CCSD trustees with us today. I'm going to ask them to stand. Carolyn Edwards. Carolyn? Erin Cranner. Erin? She may have left. And Kevin Child. Kevin, there he is, way in the back. Thank you, and thank you to CCSD. We've worked very, very hard over the past 2 years to build a strong relationship with CCSD. They've been great partners, and they've been a good supporter of this event. At this point, we will adjourn for a buffet lunch. It is, I believe, out in the hallway. I would ask, please, 2 things. That you take this time not only to network, as I know many of us are wont to do, but also that you think a little bit about some of the issues that you heard this morning, how they fit together, because as we move into the afternoon, many of our panelists and speakers will be adding some new things. So I'm just going to ask you to process that in your own mind. And then secondly, we'll be back here at 1:25 to start the afternoon. Once again, thank you all for being here. Enjoy your lunch.